Greetings. I am a representative of the anti-Semite movement. These videos are not edited. They are AI assisted and read from script. Today's subject is Moses, Israel, anti-Semites. When Moses was guiding the children of Israel into a land promised to them by God, many of the Israelites did not want to enter, making excuses due to fear of entering into a new way of life, wanting to return to the old ways they had learned in bondage. The Israelites, indoctrinated within the old slave mentality, had to die out before the new generations, having a different mindset, not influenced by the sinful mentality and ways of the old prior generations, tainted by Pharaoh's rulership in bondage, had to die out. With the anti-Semite movement, we have the opportunity to move forward into a promised land free from sin. We are to let go of the past sinful mindset of the old sinfully indoctrinated generations, which have to pass away before the new generations, it appears, are able to accept a sin-free lifestyle and move forward in sin-free behavior as prescribed by God. The story of Moses leading the Israelites out of Egypt and into the promised land is indeed a powerful metaphor for transformation and renewal. The journey of the anti-Semites, their resistance to change, and the necessity of a new mindset can be understood as an allegorical interpretation for sinless rebirth in our pursuit of God's promise of a new sin-free life for ourselves. In the Bible narrative, the Israelites had been enslaved in Egypt. When Moses, guided by God, led them out of bondage, they faced many trials and challenges. Despite witnessing great works and receiving divine guidance, many Israelites longed to return to Egypt, where their meager needs were poorly met and conflicts of injustice were frequent and predictably met with inequality and unrighteousness. Their fear of the unknown, coupled with their attachment to their slave master's old way of life, made it difficult for them to embrace the new path God laid out for them. This reluctance to move forward represents a mindset entrenched in sin and mental bondage. The older generations, those who had lived most of their lives under Pharaoh's oppression and rule, struggled to adopt the faith and trust necessary to enter the promised land. As a result, it was decreed that this present indoctrinated generation would not enter the promised land, but rather it would be their descendants, those not so deeply ingrained with the old mentality, who would inherit the promised land. In this context of the anti-Semite movement, this story can be interpreted as follows: transformation and renewal. Just as the Israelites had to undergo a transformation from slaves to a free people, individuals in the anti-Semite movement are called to transform from a life of sinful slavery to a life of sinlessness. This requires a fundamental change in mindset and behavior. Letting go of the past. The Israelites' desire to return to Egypt symbolizes the struggle to let go of past sins and familiar yet harmful patterns of life. Embracing a sin-free lifestyle requires abandoning these old ways and fully committing oneself to a new righteous path. A generational shift is very important. This generational shift, the necessity for the old generation to pass away before the new generation could enter the promised land, highlights the difficulty of changing deeply ingrained habits and beliefs. Similarly, the anti-Sinite movement suggests that a complete embrace of sinlessness may require a generational shift where the new generations, unburdened by the sinful ways of us, their predecessors, can fully commit to a sin-free life. Faith, trust, and strong belief in the divine plan. We must have faith and trust and a strong belief in God's divine plan. The journey of the Israelites was marked by moments of doubt. The journey of the Israelites was marked by moments of doubt and fear, yet it requires unwavering belief in God's plan. The anti-Sinite movement similarly calls for the generations to maintain strong belief and trust in God, to live a sin-free life and a strong belief in our ability to exist and prosper, guided by divine principles and practices. Our practice of God's law is our success, not money, not riches, not material wealth. First, seek us to be righteous, and all else of God's kingdom shall be added on. However, first, we must seek God's way of life, being sin-free. Promise of a sin-free life. The promised land represents not just a physical place, but a mental state of sinless purity and fulfillment. The anti-Sinite movement envisions a future where individuals live in harmony with God's divine will and a mindset free from the bondage of sin. Resurrecting from a mental death buried in sin, climbing up the ladder by way of sin-free righteousness into the mind of God, thinking as God prescribes, behaving as God prescribes, living sin-free as God prescribes. In essence, the anti-Sinite movement seeks to create a paradigm, an example, or model for a behavioral shift, much like the journey from Egypt to the Promised Land. It involves letting go of deeply rooted sinful behaviors and mindsets, fostering a new generation committed to living sin-free and maintaining faith and strong belief, having no doubt in a divinely guided righteous life. No doubt in a divinely righteous guided life. This movement invites individuals to embrace this transformation wholeheartedly, trusting that the challenges along the way are part of the journey to a promised existence free from sin. Peace. Turn into part 2 of Moses, Israelites, Anti-Sinites. Peace.